Good afternoon, everyone. Are we ready to start? Can I take some questions and comments on the exercise and the worksheets that you completed? Can I also take questions or feedback? Oh, come on, entrepreneurs, just get so quiet in here. It's like people are not here. I have quite a few people here, come on. Let's see, who was here in the morning? Paula, Alfred. Katleho, your line is still not doing well in terms of audio. Okay, let's move along then if there's no questions. So you were expected to do worksheet 1, and now I'm gonna go and worksheet 2, and
okay, because
and activity 3. So I think the main purpose of actually having core values in your business, it helps you to set the standard of service so that your customers also know what to expect from you. But also, it assists you, the core values assist you to have the code of conduct for your employees. So really look at your core values and see how you can live up to those values, that how will you demonstrate them to your customers, and how will your employees live them. But also, because the core values are going to be entrenched within your business and what you are about, they then also set culture. Let's have a look at the issues relating to culture. One second. So what do we mean when we're talking about culture? I'm just trying to share a document and it's just not coming through. Let's see. It's still not coming through. I'm trying one more time. In the meanwhile, is anyone who has any questions?
I have sent it through, ma'am.
Oh, it's on the chat?
Yes.
Thank you. Great. I'm going to go through. Something is definitely wrong with my laptop. It's just... Denise?
Yes, Precious?
Please open up the strategy PDF document and share it on the screen.
Okay.
On culture. Guys,
Okay.
just remember to switch yourself off the audio. Okay, great. So Paula has asked the question, how to identify the best model for my business. So before you get to identify the best model for your business, you gotta need to do the Porter framework. Porter framework and also Pastel, those tools, those frameworks will allow you to choose the best business model for yourself. And we will go through that just now. So the best model is the one where you have actually assessed the 5 areas in relation to Porter, being your suppliers, being your customer, what happens, but also analyzing your Pastel. Once you have done that, you will then be in a better position to choose the best business model for your business. Yes, Bob Alfred, go ahead.
Actually, I have a question from worksheet 2, mission statement.
Yeah.
Where they ask, what value are we bringing? So I'm not sure if I answered the question correctly.
So for your type of business that you are in, the value that you are bringing into the business or to the market is convenience.
Convenience.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Because what we do is we don't just bake, we ask the consumer if they prefer minimal or maximum sugar. We even cater for diabetic customers.
So it's definitely convenience. But what you also need to think about is a peace of mind. You see, with baking, there could be a flop. You could spend half a day trying to bake and then they come up with a flop. Whereas if I've outsourced that part and you are doing the baking, then I mean, it's a peace of mind. I'm gonna get the exact product, but you gotta also need to make sure that your product is exactly the same all the time.
Okay.
So how do you then keep the quality consistent to aim, almost like no matter where that is being done, that you get the same results, the same look. Think of your bakery as almost like a franchise. If you were to do that same biscuits and over, can you make sure that your systems and your processes allow you to come up with the same biscuit all the time?
Okay. So would that mean if ever in the future I decided to franchise, I would have to train the staff that
Yes, to produce exactly what you have produced.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, great. I don't see any other question. Mampola, I will go through it just now. I'm still not sharing the screen. Oh, sorry, Denise, let me allow you. I've shared now. You can share now. I just wanted to show the screen on the areas when we are talking about the culture. What does it mean when we're talking about the culture? We're talking about behavior, things, we're talking about processes and structure, and the rituals. Personally, I don't want to lie to you. I hate things that are rituals. I hate things that are kind of, I don't know. I really prefer that we have a right tone and we are clear what needs to be done and we focus on productivity. But I know one of my weaknesses is that the ritual assist with people to be recognized, but also assist people to actually work as a team. So those are the things that you're gonna need to think about. And as I said, I'm not good at that. Maybe you can take time to under that paragraph and just list out the culture habits that you want for your business to portray, and what are the things that you will want them or your employees or customers to experience. Take time to do that. I personally don't take enough time on that area. I don't think I'm the best in that area. I think I just want to do what I want to do or what I feel is the right, but sometimes it may not be the right thing for the customers. So I'm not the best on customer service, but yeah, I try. Okay, Denise is still struggling to share the screen. It's not a problem because you guys are supposed to have your own notes. with you. I hope everyone did get to go through and got the answers. Guys, did you get the material? Please, if you have a problem, make a note on the chart. Okay, now you have worked out your vision, you have worked out your mission, you also have worked out your core values, and from those core values, you're gonna take it a step further and design what are the service standards that you will demonstrate to your clients or your customers. And then the second part, what will be the code of conduct of your employee, including yourself, to make sure that that vision and that mission is carried through. In that environment, you will then need to actually step that follows after that. You will have to determine the core competencies. The core competencies, Denise is still not sharing. Sure, okay. Let me try some other stuff. Let me try to see if I can't get rid of this. The core competencies. So most business owners, they generally will not know what is their core competencies in business. And guys, that is very important. To know your core competency allows you to be able to know what do you need to focus on. And core competency also is about understanding that the stuff that you are good at, that you really need, that is what you will not compromise when you are recruiting or looking for employees or looking for other shareholders and directors. And the best way of assessing your core competency is to actually really look at administratively. Let me try this. Let's see if this can help. Oops. This is so bad. The screen is just...
While you are on that, can I ask something about core competencies?
Sure, go ahead.
Core competencies, does it work when maybe when between me and my partner? What are the skills that we have, like core working together, the skills? Yeah, I don't know. Core competencies, what does it mean?
Okay, so
what I'm capable of doing and what my partner is capable of doing.
Yes, but it goes beyond that. That is a beginning. So core competence is almost like it's what is it that is different about you compared to the other business which is in the same position as yours? What is it that will make the student come back to you as compared to the other guy? What is it that you have mastered so well that you will have customers, the same customer coming back and say, I want more, I want more. So core competency is, I'm sharing now. Core competency is about, it has to be relevant to build your competitiveness position in the market, but it must also be difficult to imitate. It must help you to produce or find a way in a new market or in any market. It must somehow position you so differently that the customer can easily distinguish between you and your competitors. That is what you have to build up on the core competence. And you don't need to actually stress too much about it. You just need to follow the flow. What is it that when people have interacted with you, they give you feedback on? So because I haven't sat with you guys, actually, except Paula, even Paula, we have been in a group session. We have not been on one-on-one. Let's just make an example. In our business at GAD, people, when we are teaching or providing training, they usually say, you've just explained it so simple. So what do we sell? At JD, we sell simplicity. What do we sell? We help you to structure and have a clear mind on how you're gonna manage your business. So what is our core competence? We simplify. We make it easier for any person, irrespective of whether we're talking to a person who has a degree, or someone who did not even finish matric, or someone who doesn't have work experience, doesn't have a business experience. But when we explain it, it's so simple and easy to understand that anyone can easily get what we're talking about and be able to apply.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Mampol?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it does.
So core competence is not so much about knowledge, it's not so much about experience, it's not so much about qualification, it's not so much about accreditation. It's about what have we mastered to a point that the feedback from customers confirm it, and they say exactly how what we have done has helped them. The customer tells you your core competence if you have been doing the same thing. That is why it's very important to do the same thing over a period of time so that you can build those core competence, because from that you then build up testimonials. So now let's just say you are at that point and you have figured out, you know what, we're very good in baking the scone, or we're very good as JD to simplify things that could seem as though they're quite difficult to understand. But once you have done that, you then articulate that. Because when you articulate that, it helps you to position your business better. Because now you will start translating that interpretation by your customer and use it to brand yourself. Use it to position your business. And that is why core competence is it's not so much about qualification, it's more about positioning. What's the messaging that we should be using to our clients? It's based on what the feedback the clients have been giving us. You don't make it up. Now, when you come to the structure, let's just say you did find that actually your core competency, for example, as I was saying, is simplifying. You then say, okay, structural then, how would we make sure that this simplifying of things is translated in all our business functions? You then start looking at the business functions of the business. I'm gonna skip a bit here so that I can show you. You then start looking at the structure and say, okay, in our business or in my business, I have 3 structures. I have admin, I have business development, and I have operations. Okay, under admin, do I have human resources background or information or understanding? Yes, no. Office admin, do I know what needs to happen there? Yes, no. In IT, in legal, in finance, because in any of those areas where you said no, then which means those are the areas that you're gonna need to develop, or you're gonna need to have a partner, or you're gonna need to have a coach. And you will apply that principle from administration to business development and also to operation. Now, you have taken the core competency at the positioning level, which is the messaging, but now you bring it down to functions so that you can see which areas maybe you need to build up capacity in your business. So once you have done that, you will then ask yourself, what should I build then? I think in here, I want to just jump this. I want us to jump to this first. I want us to jump to this first because this is going to help you to work out the external environment. For assessing the external environment, we use Pastel. So Pastel is basically political, economical, social, economical in other instances, or social, and then it's also technical, and it's also environment, and the last one is legal. And legal is mainly focusing on the laws. So Before you work out your business model, you have to do the external assessment. When it comes to politically, based on your offering on your products and services, what are the things that the government is talking about in that area? When it comes to economical, what is currently happening in terms of interest rate, inflation? How does that impact my business and the way I actually approach my business? Again, social issues in relation to the community that we reside in, population, age, career, all those things. What does that mean? What is happening in the lifestyle? This coronavirus, which is a health, social issue, is a health issue. How does that impact my business? Technology, how does the technology impact your business in terms of automation, research and development, and also just increasing the efficiency and effectiveness on how you deliver your products and services? Same thing with the climate, same thing with environment, and in terms of the issues relating to weather, the issues that is relating to even just water issues, because those are the issues that are also affecting the environment policies and the environment in general. And law, what legislation is the government passing that will impact how I'm running my business? You have to do that before you assess your business model. Once you have done this, because Pastel assesses your external factors, it's assessing the external environment that is outside of your control. You will need to actually do Porter. So what is Porter 5 areas? Let me share another screen. So Porter basically is another framework, but Porter focuses on assessing your processes and systems internally within your business. It looks internally in terms of the market. So hang on one second, I'm gonna just open it up. And please note, I will be amending some of your notes and adding up Porter, because previously I had actually decided not to add Porter for your analysis. I only just decided recently because I saw that Porter can really help you to focus on what is it that is within your market, whereas Pastel look at what is within the industry. So I'm gonna just open it up, 1 second. And I will share the screen once I have. I will share the screen. Okay. Okay, so what is Porter's framework about? Why do you need to have a Porter framework? The purpose of Porter framework is to allow you as an entrepreneur, especially as a startup or as a business that has not grown beyond 2 million or 3 million. You want to analyze the 5 forces which generally cover: 1, what is my supplier power? How many suppliers do we have? How unique is their products and services? How can I actually substitute some of the products and services that are part of my input into building up whatever that I need to offer into the market? The reason why you have to analyze your supplier power is because you want to assess, should that supplier actually liquidate or disappear in the market, you will have an alternative, or you will also know which other suppliers to actually approach for your input so that it does not affect your production or your service. So this applies the same with us. We assess, I think the last 2-3 months, we have assessed several platforms in terms of what to use when we're doing training like this. So it's the same thing. We're assessing the power, and we're also assessing the power of the supplier to see which ones have the better capabilities and which one is cost efficient. So when you're assessing the power of the supplier, it's also about understanding that you begin to understand whether that supplier that is giving you, can you negotiate the price? If you can't negotiate, what are the alternatives that you have should that, again, that supplier is not available to service you? Number 2 that you look at what will happen if there's a new entry into the market. How many new entries? What is differentiators from yourself to those? And what's the impact of the customer loyalty? So the number of competitors is important, but in South Africa, generally, we don't have that data. But you can assess it out by actually looking and Googling your own products that you are offering. Then you will see how many competitors are out there and how others are positioning themselves. You also need to be very clear how those new entry companies are distinguishing themselves or positioning themselves in the market. Keep in mind that even though there will be new entry all the time in any market, you will still need to understand how to make sure that you don't lose your customers to those new entries. And that is why it's also very important to make sure that you understand what is the qualification or what's the reason customers come back to you and buy from you. Is it because they're saying your scones are nice, or is it because it's convenient? Is it because maybe you are easy to work with? Is it because, what's the reason? Why is the customer coming back to you? Because that will then allow you to build up customer loyalty, strategies, and plan. Now, the third component within the 5 forces of Porter is the buying power of your customers. So in most cases, we struggle with the number of customers, but we need to keep in mind that the business is not just about the number of customers we have. It could be also about retention of the customers that are coming back. But you have to understand also, when your customer buy from you, are they price sensitive? Do they actually compare you with other guys? Do they have an ability to actually substitute what you're offering? So what do I mean? Maybe you're baking the scones, but the other substitute is someone just buying Mari at Pick and Pay. That's a substitute. A substitute could be someone baking or buying the ready mix from Snowflake, and they do it at home. So those alternatives, the ability to substitute, you gotta need to assess those substitutes, because the substitute, when you analyze them and know what their weaknesses and also their strength, you can then build up your own product to then stand above those pros and cons. And making up an example, maybe you could say something like, you don't need to worry about flop because we give you the ready-made. It's already baked. You don't need to worry, and it's already packed. So all you need to do is just putting it on the plate. Whereas if you're still gonna bake, you might actually run out of electricity due to load shedding. And so it's about really understanding why will the customer buy from you, but also making sure that the reasons why they buy from you, you also use it in your communication and messaging of your features and the benefits in your business. And that also then will lead to you understanding in building up the threat of the substitution. So let me go deeper on that. Anything, if you, the problem, let's make a problem like I'm thirsty, I need to drink something. You have several alternatives. You can take a drink, a soft drink, you can take a water, you can take a juice, you can make a smoothie, a whole list of substitutes. But as you're putting all this substitute and the listing, and maybe I provide water, I then need to understand that the people that will buy from me all the time, if I'm selling water, are people that are health conscious. So which means when I position my business or my water or my drink, I have to position into the people that I know will buy more or that will use my product all the time. So the substitute performance is also important because it also gets influenced by other things. Recently, we had the government saying that there's too much sugar on the soft drinks. There is now a sugar tax. That means the consumption of water is more likely to increase over a period of time. And drinks that do not have sugar added are more likely to actually increase because the ones that have sugar have now increased because of taxes. So you really need to start analyzing these 5 forces, but analyze them also in relation to what is happening in your Pastel, in your factors that are outside of your control. And I also think that as a business, you gotta need to keep in mind that when the substitute is existing in the market, that substitute always has certain target, people that is targeting. Your target market, you must make sure that it's very much a niche to allow you to expand in it. So focus on what is a niche, then broadening it up, trying to get everyone. So don't try to throw the net and say, I wanna catch all the fish. Rather say, I wanna have a small net because I'm only gonna catch the sardines, the small fish. Don't really go to the market with a very narrow view and then allow yourself to grow in the market by cross-selling on other products, but in the same market. So what do I mean in practical terms? So instead of, okay, let me use an example. Mampola is got a student accommodation. And she can see that, you know what, with the student accommodation, the kids or the student do need some sort of a laundry service of some sort. Instead of her trying to actually build more accommodation, she can decide, you know what, student, if you need laundry services, these are the, and we weigh it, and then she does the laundry. So she's selling a different product or a different offering, but to the same customer. That is very important because your aim is to make sure that from one customer you get the maximum, because customer acquisition also costs a lot of money. So you also have to understand that when the person is coming through into the market, is at a new entry market, they will have not have done the economies of scale. They will have not had a good customer loyalty. They will have not actually worked out the specialized knowledge and skills in that sector. So you really need to, as you're building up, be very clear. You're entering into this market. How are you different from another startup? How are you going to position yourself? And what does that mean in terms of the substitute? And what does that mean in terms of the power that the customer has? So that is what a Porter 5 forces is about assessing your competitiveness in the market. Guys, do you have any questions? I know I've just ran through some of these things in terms of I need to get the questions or comments because I've covered quite a bit in there. Bennett, Gail, Paula, I don't know who's Samsung Gallery S7. Stivovo, do you have any question? So what I am saying, Pastel assess the external factors that are outside of your control. You gotta need to understand what is happening in your industry by analyzing and building up your Pastel. But Porter, which is the 5 forces, basically looks at your internal factors that influence you and your business as you're running on day-to-day running. Okay, thanks, Gail, for the feedback. Thank you, guys. Alfred, please go ahead.
Okay, so after I do my Pastel, right, and I analyze everything, and then after I do my Potter's 5 courses, what do I then do? Like the information I get, does it help me to say, okay, this is where I am strong, and then how do I then close up on my weaknesses?
Perfect. Great question. So once you have done that analysis, you will then move to the next page, I think 3-4 pages, and you start asking, there's about 48 questions that you should be asking yourself in that environment. And you will then get some sort of an understanding, what is your strength, what is your opportunity, what is your weakness, and what is your threat. So all these things that you are obtaining information about Pastel, the 5 forces, will basically help you to do the SWOT analysis. What do we do with the SWOT analysis? The SWOT analysis, we take our strength, which is the characteristics, is what makes us to be an advantage in any other competitor. We put that in our company profile and also in our website, because that is what you're selling to the market. And then you take your weaknesses and you put them in your personal development as the area that you need to work on. And then the opportunities, you will then put them, those are the areas we call that's a low-hanging fruit. That is where you're gonna build your strategic objectives for your business. And the threats, you will put them under your risk management. Does that make sense? So let me go through it again. So you're gonna do your Porter forces analysis to check, okay, when people are entering, is there a barrier to entry? When the competitors are coming through, how do they obtain, and how do I leverage myself, because I've been in this business longer than they have? What niche and knowledge and skills that I have that they don't have? How do I position myself? So you're asking yourself all these questions so that you can be able to assess and build up what is really your strength. It's still about also what we spoke about when we spoke about core competencies. But you then start looking at this strength and say, okay, if this is part of my strength, how then do I update and amend my company profile? When I'm doing a proposal about why choose us, that should be one of the key things that I highlight on my proposal, because this is what makes you attractive than any other guy. This is what is your competitive advantage. Guys, let me say this. Competitive advantage should not be I'm a level 1 BE. That is not a competitive advantage. Even if maybe you are one of the few in your market, you gotta have to choose something that is really tangible. Because while we may think and believe BE level 1 is tangible, in real terms it's not. What you should be looking at in terms of your strength is your capability. It's your service delivery, it's your efficiency. It's basically how effective you are in how you deliver and serve your community. And I think you will understand, I mean, companies like Avis, companies like brands like Woolworths, their strength is quality. What they bring into the market is quality. So you really need to sit down and take time to say, based on analyzing the external factors and also the internal factors, what is really my capabilities? What is my strength? And from that, you will then work out. But on the book, I also have given you quite a few ideas of what you should consider as a strength. And as I said, your weaknesses, you're gonna put those on your personal development, and you're gonna assign coaches and mentors to help you. For opportunities, that is where we're gonna build strategies. Do I have a follow-up question?
No, there's no follow-up question, but I got a lot of clarity from what you just said now.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You. So with your SWOT analysis, there is about 48 questions. You might struggle a bit if you have not used Porter forces. You might struggle a bit if you have not used Pastel before, but don't stress about it. The 48 questions that we have asked you on a SWOT analysis will help you to actually build some of that knowledge and information. So do not stress too much that it's the first time you're doing it. You are not sure on how to actually do it and how to apply it. Does that make sense? Okay, guys, I need you to give me the feedback. There's quite a lot of information and I'm going a little bit more faster than I would normally go. Okay. Now, the next step will be with that SWOT analysis that you will have done, you've got those 4 categories. You then review your business model. You review your business model to see if there's anything you need to change. So guys, the business model is based on few things that needs to, it's about close to what? It's 9. Yeah, it's 9 blocks. It's 9 blocks. Let me try to make it this much. And then I'll go this. I need you guys to be able to see it. You do have, by the way, you do have this on your notes, but I just want us to go through it in more detail in here. Great. Can you all see this? Now, use, when you're doing a reviewing of your business model, use the questions. Don't try to actually redesign it in your head. Rather answer the questions that are asked in each block. But I want to just show you how do you start on your business model. As much as the business model starts from key partners, that is not where you start. You start at the customer segment. Who am I prioritizing as my customer on here? So you will start from the far left. Oops, hang on, I'm pressing and I'm forgetting that this is a presentation. You start with the far left, which is your segment of your customers, where you're gonna say, I'm selling my products and services to this market. In this market, do I have different segments? So let me make with JD. We have entrepreneurs, we have incubators, we have supply development program, we have enterprise development programs. So these are our customer segment. But within this customer segment, we also have the ones that we're saying, which one are we prioritizing? And in our business, we prioritize enterprise development programs and supply development programs. Why do we prioritize those over entrepreneurs? Because those generate most of our revenues. So that is how we prioritize the customer segment. We look at the segment that provide us with the most revenue. We look at the segment that buys from us all the time. Retaining of customer is actually key. Number 2, you then ask yourself, for that customer segment or for that target customers, what is the value proposition that I am offering? What value do we deliver to that customer that we have identified? And that is your number 2. Number 3, you then say, when we deliver that value or that product or service or solving that problem for that, which channels do we use? So channel is number 3. And then you ask yourself, based on this channel, what relationship we need to actually have with this customer? How do we get, how do we keep, how do we grow these customers? But how do we get this customer to be actually be loyal to us so that they can buy from us all the time? So you basically start customer segment, value proposition, channels, which is different platform on how you reach that customers. But then the fourth one is how do you actually manage and run and maintain the relationship with that customer. Number 5 is you then now need to work out what key activities do you actually do to build up to that value, to offer that value based on what that value requires. And then number 6 will be what resources do we need to conduct those activities for us to be able to deliver on the value proposition based on the relationships that we have with the customer, based on this target market, using which channel. And the second last one is our partners. How can our partner help us to actually build up this key activity? How can the partners help us to deliver this value? How can the partners help us to actually keep and have these resources and enhance our channels? The last 2 is mainly relating on our cost structure. How much does it cost us to conduct these activities? And how much do we generate? What revenue streams do we actually generate from the customers that we are offering? Hello?
Precious?
Yes?
How is it?
I'm good, thank you.
I can't see the screen that you are working on that side.
You can't see the screen. Guys, is everyone can't see my screen?
Okay, now I can see it.
Sorry about that. I had shared it though. Okay, but you also have this, guys, on your notes. The only thing that I'm teaching you now is to how to do the business model canvas. You start from your customer segment, that's number 1. Number 2 is your value proposition. Number 3 is your channel. Number 4 is customer relations. Number 5 is key activities. Number 6 is resources. Number 7 is gonna be key partners. And number 8 and 9, it's your revenue stream and cost structure. Do I have any questions? Let me see on the chart. Are there any questions, guys? I'm looking on the chart. I am not seeing any comments on the chart. Oh, actually, you are not the only one. There was quite a lot of people who couldn't see the screen. Oops. Apologies for that. Okay, this is on your, also guys, on your notes, okay? I just wanted to show it and present it so that you guys can see how. So what you will do is you just answer the questions that are being asked on those blocks, and you do, my suggestion for you, do your business model on the day when you did the portal and you have done your Pastel and you've done your SWOT analysis, because that will help you to see how to put your puzzles together. It feels to me I need to make an example, because you guys are not saying anything on the chart. Who has done the business model canvas before? Who has not done one? Can I have the hands of those that have said Today is the first time I'm hearing about business canvas or understanding the business canvas model. Can I have comments? Those who are saying I've never actually used before the canvas model. Yes, Steve? Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Actually, it's my first time actually to hear about this, so it's quite like no to me as what we've just covered. So just trying to digest and get everything in my head.
Tell me something, Steve. Have you done a business plan before? Hello? Steve, you're getting cut off. Have you done a business plan before? Okay, he's getting cut off and on and off. So maybe, Steve, you can type it for us. Basically, a business model canvas is it's actually a business plan. It's just that it's a business plan that you have consolidated what you do and how you do it in one page. And I usually advise people, don't do the business plan until you've done the business model. Because the business plan basically is giving you on how you're gonna create, deliver, and capture the value in that market. So Paula said she has done it before. She now needs to do it again for her student accommodation business. Of course, yes. That is great. That is wonderful. So guys, I just take your time understanding. And this is so important to actually understand your business model, because your business model is almost like a reality check of where you are in how you create value in your business. But it also helps you to see who really, because when you look at your key partners, you really start asking, exactly in my business, who are the people that are helping me to build the value, to drive the value in my business? And how do I actually work with these partners? What do they actually do for me? That is very important, because should there be a problem in your business that you need, you will know who to approach for which problem. You will know for which activity you will need to approach who. For what resources will you need to approach your partners? Guys, partners relate to employees, suppliers. Just go in and understand what the business model is about. The business model is actually like, it's a foundation for your business plan. As I had said, I have already on your notes, I have provided you with the details. I think what I had not done was to make sure that I follow the sequence, like I was saying to you guys, that you're gonna need to start from the customer segment. So I think I need to review the notes and just make sure it follows that process, because at the end of the day, it must be systematical. It must be something that's gonna help you to build up the right strategies for your business. Now, once you have done that business model, you have answered all those questions, you will update the worksheet number 5 on your workbook. And then you will take the opportunities. Remember earlier we spoke about on your SWOT analysis, there's an O for SWOT, which is opportunities. You will then start listing down these opportunities and say, these are my low-hanging fruits. What can I do to capitalize on them? what can I do to make sure that these resources I have, they produce more. These resources that I have actually help me to achieve more. So that is what you will then do when you're looking at the opportunities. So we're gonna try to look at one business. Let's see. Gail, in your business, what will you say are the area for opportunities? Gail, I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself. I need to tell me what opportunities have you identified in your industry so that we can use your example to build up the strategies.
I haven't actually gone through that. What opportunity are there in my business? I just assume, I'm not actually sure whether it is the opportunities. Is that when sometimes when with previous experience, is that when we sometimes did cleaning for a flat, we found that they would ask also to do a carpet cleaning as part of the work. And then previously we didn't do that because we only focus on just cleaning. So we didn't do deep clean of carpet. So I think that's an opportunity for the business to do also, like going forward, to add that on the service that we provide currently.
Great. So you are seeing an opportunity to actually upsell on the same customer, but adding now carpet. Okay.
Yes.
So that makes sense. Great. Guys, anyone who has analyzed their market and saw that there's an opportunity? Bennett, have you done some market analysis to check what opportunities does this market present to you right now? I want to use one or two businesses as examples.
Yes.
So Bennett, the question is, when you look at your industry and your market, are there any new opportunities that you have identified?
Hi, Precious.
Hi.
Yes, there are quite a lot of opportunities as on the flooring side, and every time I go to my clients, obviously I would get there and use the COVID-19 as an opportunity that I can bring to them and sell more on, as I previously mentioned, that when I get there, I would always be advising that I also can provide you in terms of sanitization and only, so not only woodwork.
Okay, great. So let's just take these two, thanks Bennett for sharing. Let's just take these two examples. Bennett is saying there's definitely are opportunities in flooring and there are customers. Obviously, because of construction being stopped for some time, it will then mean at the starting up, it will be slow, but it will pick up because we're expecting that the market is gonna actually soften up and also allow people to actually demand those products and services that are not necessarily necessities, but people do need. And flooring is one of them. Then the other example that was provided by Gail was about providing a cleaning for the carpet. So what you then need to do is that now you have identified that opportunity, you need to start asking the current customers that you've already got, how many people can actually buy from the current customers? How many people are interested that will be buying in the next 3 to 4 months? can you start on those people that you have identified to then, one, find out their need, but also find out their preference. If it's a flooring, is tiles. Do they prefer shiny tiles or do they prefer matte? Do they prefer, what is their preference? So you gotta need to do further studies on your customer, your target customers, so that you can set up the demand. Because the next step will be to do what? To show them the samples. So if it's a carpet, you will also ask your customer, your current customers, guys, do you have a carpet at home? It's about to be winter over now. It's coming to a summer. Do you want a spring cleaning of some sort for your carpet? And so you gotta need to do what? Additional from, you've identified the opportunity, but now you need to drill it down to the target market and talk direct to the target market so that you can assess out or assess the volumes that you should be expecting in terms of your sales. You can do this by doing a survey. You can do this like a competition. You can do this by just touching base with your customers. And that is why it's very important to work with customers that you normally work with all the time, because you can easily ask these questions at any time if you have a proper relationship with your customers. The aim for you is to, you identify the opportunity, but then do a deeper marketing research to that specific target market. But Jabulile, do you have any opportunities that you would like to share? Steve, Alpha, Banda, do you have any ideas in your industry? Maybe I can also use that as an example. But Jabulile, Alpha?
Yes, ma'am. Mine is on material development because when training, I also identified that in some cases you have a customer that doesn't have the material that needs to be trained on. They only have the theme. But I've also identified that material development is one of the areas that I need to venture into.
Yes, but do you see, you're going very narrow. The people are not going to be confused as what is Bajabulile doing now? You're still in the training space. You now are positioning yourself as a content developer.
Yes.
So, and that is still within your environment. You are going to deal with the same standard. So you can sell the content to other trainers that will actually, so those are the opportunities that you have found. Great.
Yes.
Alpha?
Yes, thank you so much, and I've been following. Yes, so for me, I think some of the opportunities that I've come to come across is I belong to a chamber of commerce and industry, and because of that, there are a number of business people that are on that forum. So what I've noticed is that within that group, a number of them have simple business challenges. For example, others have just how to expand their markets. That's the challenge.
Alpha, your line is so bad. Would you please type it on your chart, on the chart? Please. It's so bad. I can hardly make out what you are saying, but I heard the part about you are in the chambers. There's lots of business owners that are struggling with basic things, but I need to hear more. What basic things do you think the startups or the small businesses need? Because from that, I can then see how you can then build up the next step. Sharif, is anything that you have identified in your market that you think could actually be an opportunity that you can build a clear strategic objective?
Can I come in, Precious?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, on my side is on the training space. I have identified when it comes to the practical skills, for argument's sake, where you can train people today and it's something that they can implement within a week. For example, if you teach a person how to repair a geyser, just putting an element to the geyser and how to test if the element is dead, or something like replacing plugs, but hands-on, because the training that most of the TVET are giving, most of the time is theory. But I've seen a niche in the market that if I tap into that niche and my implementation is good and I've got capacity, I have clients, because at the moment I don't have the capacity that is required to accommodate more clients, because most of the time it's almost, you may have 5 people to 1 assessor or 1 mentor.
So then, okay, so you've identified the opportunity that you could actually build up your own capacity, one, but indirectly also charge. Are you gonna charge those people that you're gonna be training, or are you gonna be using their skills?
No, I'm gonna be training them, and I'll also be using their skill.
So you're gonna need to be very clear about your revenue model there, because if you then are charging them, that's okay. They are paying you for you to train them. But if you're also gonna use their skills, you're gonna make sure then that your training that you are providing is within the SAQA standards, so that it's relevant for the TVET to sign off on their experience.
Yes.
Perfect. So, and then the next step that you will need to make sure is to find out from your CETA if they can actually reward you or pay you, so that you don't actually need to charge these unemployed graduates, because generally they don't have money. So find out from your closest CETA or the CETA that you actually operate or you belong to see what will be the process if you were to actually get interns and you train them. Wouldn't they not pay you, because they are giving stipends to people who employ interns?
Thank you.
Okay, and also ask them what are the requirements in terms of accreditation. And most of the time, they will actually not need a load. They just need you to make sure that the things that the students are doing is what the TVET college will sign off in terms of the certification. Susan, hi, how are you? I'm looking for people to, Alpha, have you typed? You haven't typed. You wanna move from where you are so that we can hear you. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
So we're talking about identifying opportunities, and what do you do with that O for opportunities? And we're saying this is where you build what? Your strategic objectives. This is where you build your operational activities. Have you identified any opportunities in your industry?
Yes, so far with my product, last week we have spoken that I manufacture your vegetable archer. I've seen a huge opportunity for me, because most people, they sell your mango archer, and we do have your busy corners, your pap and grills, your chisanyamas. Most of the time they want something that is chili. And with my vegetable, that will give them an opportunity to have your mild, your hot, your extra hot, like your spices they sell in Nando's. I'll be doing that. And by doing so, I think I'll be also creating more jobs within your townships.
Okay, so that is great, Susan. Guys, just be careful. I like the idea of you're not gonna focus on selling to the household, Susan, but you're gonna be focusing on selling to the people that are gonna buy bigger volumes.
Yes.
So catering company should also be a priority in that list.
Okay.
even the spaza shop, because within the spaza shop, they do sell amagwinya and fish, and they are selling also i-acha there.
Okay.
So look at the spaza shops as your distribution platforms to push your product through, because your product also have a limited shelf life.
Yes.
So your aim is to sell to a lot of people to a point that they should be looking for your brand. They rather not take any other except your brand. But for you to be at that level, you're gonna need to be consistent with your suppliers and your customers, so that when you go to a spaza shop, find out how you can actually fill them their order, how much they need per week, so that you deliver the stuff whether they've called you or not called you. Because guys, you shouldn't wait for the customer to call you.
Okay.
You shouldn't wait for, I think that is another mindset as entrepreneurs we actually generally do. We think we should just sit and wait for the customer to call us. We have to be in front of our customer at all times, so that when the customer needs the product, it's just right there. They don't think of anybody else. So that branding or that consistent communication with your current customers also means try to see how you can start collecting the database of your customers. Even if it's a household, and categorize them. You see on that business model canvas, you will segment. That categorizing of customer is segment. So if you have a family that had ordered maybe 5 liter or a 1 liter, you should be following up at least after a month, because you kind of have worked out that the average number in that household, how many they are. Because they should then be buying another one. I think, Susan, your business does have sustainability, because, you know, once you eat that type of food, it's addictive. You can't eat anything without that. So you should use that to build up the proper customer base, making sure that you build up AMA orders, and you make sure that your customers can place orders direct with you, make that seamless and easier. So that it's easier for you to retain and continue building, so that not every month you're starting all over.
Okay, so what you're saying is I should not wait for my customers to come to me. I should actually approach them, especially the ones that have already bought from me.
Yes, like when should I expect the next order? How far are you with a 5 liter that you recently bought?
Yes, but they don't last. I think if they buy them today, in 2 days they're finished.
Yeah, exactly. So you should be saying, we have more stock. When should I deliver?
Okay, can I also, just to attract the attention of the customers I already have, perhaps I can send all of them thank you messages and all that?
Only when they are actually buying at that time, to say thank you. Yeah.
How about, what about the one?
Buying. So make that to be a normal. Each time when a person has placed the order, you thank them, and you also ask them to give you a feedback on how is what you are doing. Because guys, asking for a feedback is about the customer, it's not about your ego. It's about the customer, to make sure you're keeping that customer happy.
Okay, what about those customers that have only ever bought that one time? Can I go back to them and approach them?
You should not have a customer that has bought once, especially it's stuff that is relating to food.
Okay,
because,
but can't I attract them to buy again?
Yes, you can, but I'm saying you should not, you shouldn't, what I'm saying is that any person that has bought from you should always remain a customer, so that when you're running special, maybe let's just say you decided to bake quite a bit, then you have overstock. you promote to that same customer base that has bought from you before. That is why it's important to keep a strong database of customers.
Okay.
I mean, with us, we keep a database in different platforms. We have emails, we have WhatsApp groups, we have WhatsApp groups of other people that they invite us on. So we can reach our customers by bulk SMS, by emails, by actually running through WhatsApps only on how we will reach our customers. So you can actually, by keeping the database of your customers or the platforms where you had reached your customer, you can advertise back to them.
Okay.
Okay. Most businesses actually do have a WhatsApp group where people place orders also. So that is what we mean also when we're saying build up an automation system. So where a person can actually go to a WhatsApp and SMS you the order. Because this is your old customer already. Guys, do you have any questions?
Can I come in?
Yes, Ma'am Paula, go ahead.
Okay. Regarding on what you have been handling now, with my student accommodation, I just want to validate if I hear you very well. If I add up on laundry, I've been a student, I know that in most cases we don't have time to do laundry. They don't like cooking. If I add up smaller Yana's puzzle shop just for them, and even the beauty, because they also love beauty, how will you assess
if I was you, Mama Paula, I will not be the one who's doing that. But what I will do is, within close by, with the 43 rooms that you have, I will just get one of the rooms to be a space where one of the girls or one of the entrepreneurs who does nails and hair and stuff, I rent it out to them.
Okay.
I don't do that. Somebody else do that. But I still get the money because I'm renting it out. Does that make sense?
I love it.
You shouldn't, because when you are the landlord, you should remain the landlord. If you do see an opportunity for laundry, no problem. Find a guy who does the laundry already. Because for you, Mama Paula, the aim is not to do more. The aim is to generate more revenue with the current assets and resources you have. Whereas if it was someone else younger and a whole list of other things, then I could say, consider, yes, having maybe a laundry business, or consider starting up a beauty shop. But with you, Ma'am Paul, the aim is to reduce, the aim is to capitalize, the aim is to make more money from the current resources.
Thank you for giving me rest. Hey, you love me so much. Thank you.
I know you're busy, P. And I'm saying, no, we need to preserve these resources. We need to preserve this energy. We need to preserve you. You're gonna need to be more director than an employee. We should be working towards your exit strategy. In the 10 years time, in 15 years time, we should be saying we are exiting, but we're exiting, you are multi, you don't even worry about mine.
Amen. Thank you. I receive.
Hi, Precious.
Hi.
Yes, I'm working on my succession plan.
Right.
And I'm going to give you a student. It will be to my account. I think we have been speaking to a lady by Katleho Hatumangana.
Yes.
Letawo is young. She's a first year student and doing BCom. She wants to be a CA. So I want you, my request will be for you to take her by the hand. It will be to my cost. She must add value. She must come very clear to say what value is she going to add to GAT, and take it from there. It will be to my account, but thank you so much. I really appreciate. So today she was just here to have an understanding what is going on in the real world.
Thank you so much. No problem. I'll just give her the contact details of Denise. Denise will assist.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. So,
Thank
guys, Banda didn't come back. Banda, are you back?
Yes, I was just trying to change my network, and it looks like I am now. I have
this
some.
This is way better, my friend. This is way better. Go ahead.
Yes. So what I was trying to say is that, especially with the coming of COVID, there's some opportunities that I've identified. I belong to a group of business men and women in the chamber group. So what I've noticed is that most of them have challenges of small things in businesses. For example, just customer relations, and they are not ready to sit in a class where they will learn maybe for 3 days, one week, but just 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And so there is, I'm introducing what I'm calling a business club. So that business club, they'll be learning even just for 30 minutes and pay a small amount on a specific topic. So I've seen a lot of them are coming up with a lot of interest in joining the business club. And because it can be done virtually, they don't need to sit in class. This has proved to be something that is very helpful to them, and they are looking forward to it. Thank you.
Alpha, just keep in mind that most businesses, they struggle with access to market. They struggle with access to market. So if you were, if when you position this business club, try to see if you can position it as a lead generation kind of business class kind of thing, or access to market. Consider that. Does that make sense?
Yes, could you explain a little bit more? Maybe for the benefit of others as well?
No problem. So majority of businesses are struggling because they can't do customer acquisition. Getting a customer, enrolling the customer who's gonna pay for what they do is difficult. They don't know how to do that.
Exactly.
And so I'm saying, when you do your packaging of your business club, try to see if you can position it as a lead generation platform, as teaching them, but also helping them to generate more and get more customers.
Perfect. That's a very good innovation to my thoughts. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That is why we're here. We said we need to start thinking strategy. We need to start thinking about where are the opportunities and how should I approach that opportunity? What will be my next step after I've identified that opportunity? Because guys, it's difficult out there, and there's no one who's holding your hand saying, okay, try this way, try that way. And we're providing this platform to all of you to be able to use it and say, how can I actually make more money in my business? How can I actually build more sustainable business?
Thank you. You're my savior. Thank you so much, Precious.
You're welcome. Okay, guys. So I really need you to go back and think about the opportunities. Identify as many opportunities. We call this brainstorming, where you just list as many opportunities that you think are out there. Because guys, at the end of the day, not all opportunities need to be pursued. Because once you have listed a whole list of them, you can then start assessing which ones are easier for you based on the resources you have. But which ones maybe they're just ideas. they're not really opportunities. So I really need you to take some time to do that. We will then have a session next week where we will go through the balance scorecard framework, where we'll say, now this opportunity, you have validated it. Yes, this is the number of potential clients that I will, and this is how much I will charge. It's clear to you that how much revenue you could possibly generate from that business venture or from that idea. And from there, we can then help you to build up the strategic objectives using a balance score framework. The balance score framework is something that looks like this. Let me share that with you. Okay. A balance scorecard framework looks like this. It has 4 areas: financial perspective, internal business perspective, learning and growth, and customers. And they're all integrated. The financial goal is always the one on the top. The learning and growth is always at the bottom, but that is where we start when we're talking about the balance score framework. So within the balance score framework, we will then have this one page of our mission, our values, our vision, and our themes, our strategic themes, and the result we want to actually produce. And in there, we're going to have, guys, is the document being shared? Oh, I don't want to go.
No.
Oh, I'm talking to myself again. Apologies. Yo. Okay, there we go. Can you see now? Someone confirm, can you guys see?
Yes,
We can see.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, perfect. So you're gonna identify the top three opportunities, which you're saying, Precious, these are not ideas, these are real opportunities. I've tested, I've assessed. This is what I assessed. I've spoken to the following number of customers, and this was confirmed. And then we take those and we start plugging them into this framework. This is what we call a balanced scorecard framework. We use this to measure our objective. And the main purpose of it is to make sure that we have covered all the 4 areas in a business. Because every business is about money, which is financial. Every business is about customer. Every business is about internal business processes. And every business is about capacity and growth, which is learning and growth.
Yeah.
On those strategies, you're gonna then work out what is it that under finance we're gonna need to do. As I said, we start from learning and growth, which is capacity at the bottom. What do we need to do for us to achieve the result we want in finance? What do we need to do in order for us to maintain and build a higher customer base? And how would we measure that? What will be the key performance indicators? And what will be the target, and also what will be initiatives? And guys, we will go through it in more details. I need you just to do the first part that we have discussed today, read it all through up till the end. When we do this, when we come back and having the other session, we'll then take example of one of your ideas and plug them into this template. So as I said, we have 4 perspectives. It's finance, we look at financial performance. Customer is about customer satisfaction, customer acquisition, customer retention. Internal processes is about business efficiency and effectiveness. Organizational capacity is about how we maintain and manage our skills and resources, and how we build ourselves to meet the needs of the customer and to deliver on the goals we have set, which is our financial goals. And there is examples for key performance indicators. In the program, when you are done, entrepreneurs, you're gonna come up with something like this, 1-page strategic document. that will articulate your vision, your mission, your strategic priorities for the next 3 years, and the strategic results that you want to deliver on. And it will also have these strategic objectives. I generally say keep it at 3 or 2. Don't go beyond that, especially if it's the first time you're doing it. And identify the key performance drivers and indicators that directly help you to manage here. But also it depends on systems and processes you have created. If you do not have enough systems and processes to measure this, you will not be able to actually build up the strategic objectives that really matter. And these are your values here: customer focus, integrity, quality. That will all be your values. I can see that there is a chart, questions. Alpha is saying, I'm really grateful for today's session, so eye-opening. I'm so sorry I missed the notes in the presentation. May I listen? No problem. Denise and Bonolo will take your email address. No problem, absolutely. We will also send you guys a link of our channel, because all these videos and training that we're providing, we actually do load those on YouTube. So yeah, you guys can always go back and go through it and also assess. I see Susan has got a hand. Susan, go ahead. Susan, please go ahead. I saw a hand. Was making stuff up? Okay. You will just unmute yourself, Susan, and go ahead. I'm gonna.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I wanted to find out, Precious, is it branding necessarily or more important for the product that I'm selling?
So my suggestion on the branding side for you, my suggestion on your branding side for you, get the product consistent over and over. Get that sorted out first before you invest heavily on branding.
Oh, okay.
Focus mainly on pushing the product, even if it means you're pushing the product in buckets.
Yes.
That is better, because the aim is to get them to be addicted and only use your product. Because anyway, the tuck shops, they sell it in a very small portion. Each.
Yes.
They don't sell it in bulk. So therefore your brand is gonna get lost anyway. It's not gonna reach the customer they use. Deal with a branding aggressively when you enter the mainstream, which is retail.
Okay, all right.
For now, focus on owning the market share in your area, in your township. Focus on that market share. Increase your market share. Let it be known. They don't even know your name. You see, when you have done that, you really own the market. When they don't know your name, but they know what you do.
All right.
I'm serious.
Thank you.
I'm really serious. So if I was you, I would really focus. You probably might need even to have a partnership with people that have databases of spaza shops as a Soweto. You get them to taste your stuff and say, place an order. Your customers will always come back once they've tested mine.
I love that. I would love that. I would love to have that.
You push. Yes. Customer base and build up and offer my specials. If there's a big discount, you will make more margin because you're gonna buy a bucket from me.
Okay.
So you really, this is what we eat as Black people. We should own it, own the whole thing. own the market share. That market share should not be owned by other people.
Yes.
Okay, so Paula is asking, how does one use the balance scorecard to help us? Please repeat that. Okay, so a balance scorecard framework helps you to measure your objectives. That's the main purpose of the balance scorecard. That's the only tool. It's one of my best tools on strategy because it helps you to measure your objectives, because it drives, it asks you what's the key performance indicator for that strategic objective. So let's just say maybe you said you want to increase revenue, right? Mampol, come in. Mampola, please come in. Did I lose her?
No, I'm here.
Okay, so maybe let's just say you saying, you know what, Precious, 2 years ago, I increased my my property number of rooms from 20 to 43. Now I want to make it, double it up to say, let me have another 43. Let me have 86 in the next 12 months. So what? That is what you're gonna increase. You're gonna increase what? The number of rooms. You're gonna, for you to increase what? The revenues. What will be the key performance indicator there? It will be the number of rooms, but it will also be increase in revenue. Why do you have to measure both? Because you wanna measure both because they could happening in different stages. Having the rooms ready, you will have ticked, done. But now is to get the room to be what? To be occupied. So it's a different process altogether. So that is why the balance scorecard is very important, and it's one of the best tools. And I mean, guys, in strategy, there's more than 51 frameworks in the world that I know of. 51 on how to map up your strategy. But for you, entrepreneurs, I have only limited to 5. 5 only. And the 5 that are, those are the simplest and easier to manage. You see, when you have done your strategic objective and it's simple like that, you can then begin to say, I will secure in DAO in 3 months' time. I will start building in month number 4. Month number 8, I'm completing. Do you see? You can measure based on when and what exactly you'll be doing, and you can monitor it. And that is why the balance scorecard is one of the best tools, because you can even create projects within that. Do you see? You can have a project to building, a project to find the property, a project to do, you know, it's many, that is what we call initiatives. Remember this thing that I said here, initiatives, the purple thing in here. Initiatives are projects that will help you to achieve the strategic objective. Okay, we're almost done, entrepreneurs. I know. So once you have done your strategic development, you can then now monitor and evaluate, as I was explaining. You break down the strategic objective to initiative or project, and you can set up monthly reporting and quarterly reporting. The other time, one second, I'm gonna stop sharing. The other time, let me do this. Okay, guys, I feel like I'm looking like crazy today. So the other time, guys, you asked on saying that, Precious, how do I get myself focused? I think in the morning, this is one of the areas some of you raise as an area that you're saying, you know, I don't know where to start in planning. I also don't know how to actually get myself to focus. You see, the strategy actually helps you to focus. You only work on the things that are on your strategic document, nothing else. Anything that is outside of that, that is for somebody else to do. You can delegate, or you can find your team members to work on that. But the things that are relating to your strategy should be your own thing. In my business, I generally do not do that. I do it the other way around. I manage other people to run the strategic projects, but I then make sure that I only deal with the high level, because in my business, I'm still quite operational. Again, you have to work out your exit strategy. And in my part, I actually have not worked it very cleverly. I still need to work it in more detail to make sure that I build a business that I can only operate at the strategic level, not at the operational level. Guys, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Can I take some questions? Oh, guys, you're so quiet. I just don't even know if you can hear me. Does this make sense?
We are following you. We are hearing you.
Okay. Remember, because it's the first time you are being introduced in some of these concepts and ideas, it's also gonna mean you're gonna need to go back and read it and apply, answer the questions that are being asked on the questions. And ask yourself also, how can I get these ideas? How can I take these ideas and implement them in my business? So I also wanna say, in any business, there is quite a lot of things that we can do to grow our business. We can grow our business by acquiring other business. So Mampola, instead of you building other rooms, you can actually buy the rooms from other people that are close by that are doing the same thing. You don't need to be the one who's building, right? So, okay. Yes, if you have the money, you can absolutely just buy it from people that want to exit that market. You can also increase the asset portfolio. Instead of being focused maybe in one area, find another university that is recently been built that is looking for people like you who are in student accommodation. You can also re-look at your customer base and say, you know what, I'm already in that area. I'm providing student accommodation. Let me find out if they don't need lecturer accommodation, because that's not professionals. You're still in the same area. You could also look at your value proposition and start asking, what are the things that I can offer more to this customer base, and how do I build and redefine the customer relationship? How can I increase my product offering? How can I make sure that I retain these customers, and these customers also always come back to me? So all of it is mainly about you looking at, how do I expand my business? How do I enhance what I'm actually doing? But how do I make sure that as I'm building my business, I am increasing my revenues and reducing my expenditures?
Precious.
Yes, Alpha, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. Whilst you're talking about expanding your business, I have one of the businesses that I have is retail business, and this is based in a community. So I've seen that at some point, the sales plateaued, like for about 2 or 3 months, you find the sales are almost the same because you're dealing with the same community. What would you suggest are some of the things that I can do to just increase the sales?
What are you selling, Alpha?
It's retail, grocery, cosmetics, and things like that.
So it's almost like a tuck shop.
Exactly, and it's in a compound, sort of, a residential. So it's like you have almost the same customers that come to you from that residential area. So how do I beat the sales now just to expand the business?
So if I was you, I will first assess which things are moving faster than the others, which things are not moving. And once I've identified the items that are not moving, I will take them off the shelf.
Okay.
And I will then start asking my customer when they come, what else would they like to see and find? Because now you have a space, you can then add.
Okay.
Especially if you are in a confined space, you will need to actually offload first before you add.
Okay.
So start talking to your customer and say, what would you like to see? What would you like to find here? What are the things? Also just start making note of the things they're asking for, which you don't have.
Okay, thank you
And
so
then
much.
the things that that you know is not moving, run a special on those to get rid of it.
Ah, great.
Run a special, run some sort of a promotion, a month-end promotion. Every month, just run a huge special. Even if you are selling it at the cost, that's okay.
Ah, I see.
Because you want to get rid of the space so that you allow the new things to come in.
Ah, great, great. Ah, thank you, great input. Thank you so much. Thank you,
You're
Precious.
welcome. Guys, especially if you are in a specific location, just remember that it means you can only upsell. I don't know if that makes sense. It means you can only upsell to those people that are in that location. You can't acquire more customers. So the aim, therefore, Alpha, is to make sure that your stock does not stay more than a week. You have a high stock turnover then, so that you can sell more.
Okay.
Great.
Sure.
Paula is saying you spoke about lecturing about accommodation. Who's my target market in this regard? Oh, it's the lecturers, the tutors, the administrators within that university. And now we are targeting young professionals, people that are starting up.
Oh, okay.
They have a different need than students. They usually will not want to share. They will also willing to pay if the place is nice.
Okay.
Great. Okay, guys, do you have, is anyone who has questions or who has been triggered by ideas, or someone who want to test their idea, someone who wants me to critique their idea? Oh, Kathleen has wrote, can you please use a survey to help active in making sure you reach it? Of course, yes, you can definitely use survey. You can use surveys to achieve your goals. You can use survey to test if the customers are happy. If you are still on the right path, you can definitely do that.
You understand?
Okay.
Hello? Okay, I've muted. Okay, Susan, you sorted. Gail, are you sorted? Guys, we're left with few minutes. I just want to take few questions.
Yes, can I pitch something?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I have an idea, but it's not related to the business that I'm currently in now.
That's fine.
I want to go into the market of drop shipping.
Okay.
Which is basically running an online store. So we check products that are high on demand currently in the market, and then we approach suppliers. So at minimum, we need to have checked up to 6 suppliers before we can choose a supplier that we're gonna work with. And then, so drop shipping, it's a very profitable industry because I don't have to keep any stock. And then I also don't have to incur a warehouse cost, and I don't have to worry about stock that's not gonna sell.
Yeah.
So all I have to do is run the store, market my store, and then once the sales come in, so onto the retail price is going to be the cost of that good plus the shipping costs, or shipping can be a separate cost, and my profit markup onto that cost?
Generally, you should separate the courier fees or the transport cost from your price.
Okay.
Should always, the reason why you have to separate that, because the point of your warehouse, from the warehouse to the custom, you don't know that destination. That is what determines the price of the courier fees. And that will always be different from one customer to another.
Okay, so I'll note that down, separate the courier fees from my retail price.
Yes, it has to be a separate, and generally the best way of doing it is to outsource it to a company that will allow you to be able to do a competitive bidding, depending on how fast the customer wants the stuff.
Okay.
The issue though with drop shipping is the traffic. Building up a traffic does need a focus, and it does need you to really be clear of what you are doing. I think I do have a store which is similar to dropshipping. I've had it for more than 3 months now, but I haven't sold anything because I have not been focusing on it. I've been doing other things. So just be careful that you are getting a store of which you do have time to build up the traffic.
Okay.
Great.
Yes. So I have to work on my marketing to increase the awareness about my store and attract customers to my store.
You have to do whatever that needs to be done to bring the traffic, whether it's marketing or sales, is public relations, is all the stuff that will bring the traffic into the store, because the store traffic will then relate into the conversion rate, the number of people that will finally buy. The more traffic you have, the more chances you will have of selling.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Guys, is anyone who has any questions? We're left with 8 minutes. Come on, guys, let's talk.
Precious, this is going to be a quick one. It's just apart from the training business that I'm having, I also have the properties that I'm renting out. It's 2 of them. Now, I'm just still testing the waters to check if venturing into property space is going to be the right thing to do. Now, my question is, how do I incorporate the two? When it comes to the business account, do I have to run these properties as the business, because as is now, because they're making no profit as yet, and they haven't broken even so far. So now it's not incorporated into the business. Now, what is the advice regarding that one? Should we incorporate it into the business account, or do I have to run it on personal capacity?
So it depends on the structure, but my views to reduce your taxable income of your training, because in training and professional service, you're always going to be more likely to be profitable, not unless something drastically went wrong in projects. But in general, you always will be profitable on those type of projects, which means your taxable income will always be higher. So my suggestion for you will be, run it, the property business, run it as part of your consulting work. Put it in, have a rental income as a separate line item on the financial statement, and build those property in your asset of your business. And then so that you get the tax deduction, because the property takes a while to break even, so that you can absorb the profits from that business that is actually profitable, and you absorb those over a period of time. When you bring it though to the business, because when Bajabulile, you brought it in, You had bought it at your own personal capacity. Bring the shareholders loan account.
Yes.
So bring both asset and liabilities into the book. And the business, let it pay you the interest. Even if it's an interest that is below interest prime rate, that is still fine. But you must bring both the asset and the liability so that your books balance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Guys, do you have any other questions? Do you have any support? Babu Alfred, I will be reviewing your stuff, and also the other guys that have bought this program, I will be reviewing your stuff and scheduling up a meeting to review your output of your documents. Because I honestly, when you are done, I need you to present something that looks like this in your business. Do you see what you need to present at the end of it? After all this process, I need you to come out with something that looks like this. I know it seems so complicated now. Remember, it's the first time you're doing this.
Who is going to be doing this? Is it going to be us?
Exactly my point.
Yes, you're gonna do this. And for those who have signed up for the coaching and the training program and paid, I will even review for them so that I help them to map it up. Because guys, you have to understand, it's all of it is integrated. You're gonna need to understand that you're gonna need to build capacity in your business first for you to achieve the results you want. And from that capacity, what processes do you need to have in place? And how will that relate to the customer? And how will that give you the result, which is your financial goals? I see people are dropping already. Like, this is so difficult. Trust me, this is easy. If you follow the process we've just followed, you're gonna go back and read the content and the material. You will also make sure, Denise, please leave a link of the blog. In our blog, we have several articles that I generally put those through for people who are asking questions. Send me the questions and I will do a write-up on that blog explaining some of the things. And I need you to just give it a try. You've already got a vision, you've already got a mission. I will help you with the priorities. I will help you with the results. Map up what capacity do you need to achieve the goals you want to actually put in place. What processes do you need? Babu Alfred, you spoke about automation. Earlier, I think someone spoke about customer retention and satisfaction. So which means you're gonna need to put those things in here, because they all relate on how you're gonna build up what? Your revenues. Remember, customer acquisition is more difficult than retention.
What will be this document at the end of the process? Profile, business profile, or what? What will be this?
Oh, this is gonna be your 3-year plan, basically. This is like, this is giving you for the next 5 years, 3 to 5 years. This is the only thing I'm gonna be doing.
Okay.
It just helps you to focus. So you're no longer gonna do other things. The first thing you do in the morning every day is on this, and that's it. After that, you can go to sleep. I know, it sounds easy, but yeah, it is.
This is higher grade.
This is higher grade, and I told you, we have 51 frameworks and strategy that I know. I only have selected 5 because these 5 are the simplest. And I am saying to you, I know this is difficult because it's the first time you're doing this, but I am saying to you, I'm gonna hold your hand, try it, do it, and share. I will then direct you. We'll run a coaching session next week catching up, go back to all your notes, start from the beginning, go through it again, and start completing all the worksheet. Share your worksheet in the group. Build up. We have even a group. Denise, please put on the chart the strategy group. And by the way, the strategy group, the reason why we have it as a separate is because not everyone in finance success is actually interested in strategy. Most people are more interested in making the money, keeping the money, and raising the money. That is why we have finance success. But people that want to actually deal with the issues relating to strategy, we have a separate group, and that's the group where you're gonna share your templates that you have completed. Because from that, I can then direct you and assist you to say, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Have you looked at this? Because that will then enable you to think beyond what is within your parameters. Are we ready to work?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, yes.
I think most of you are feeling overwhelmed by this. I think most of you, Bonolo, please share the link of strategy where they're gonna share. So as you complete each of your timesheet, your time or your worksheet, share your once you have completed so that I direct you and help you. But remember, when I help you, the other people also learn from you.
Okay.
Don't be afraid not to share, okay? Don't be afraid not to share. Please share. So Denise is saying she's not in the strategy group. No problem. Bonolo is on the strategy group. She will share. Okay, guys. Are we ready? I am trying to get you guys to be directors here. You have been throwing your business cards around saying you're a director.
Exactly.
You said, Precious, we would like to have executive, we would like to have advisory boards. How can you have an advisory board in your business when you don't even have a strategy in place? What is that board going to be talking about? So those of you that have indicated that they're really interested on having advisory, your entry to the next product, of which is advisory board, where on monthly basis and quarterly basis, you will have a board of directors reviewing where you're going, assisting you to map up the way of what and how. People who are highly experienced, who have huge network, we will bring them on board. But I can't bring them to entrepreneurs that don't even have strategies, that don't even know what their focus is in their businesses. Do you understand what I'm saying? I will be embarrassing myself to those people. Actually, I will lose my reputation because of you guys. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're gonna need to get this and understand this, because this is also gonna help you to be really direct, so that you can start employing managers and supervisors, so that you operate as a director. You don't operate as a person who's a consultant or as a person who's doing the work. Remember what I said the other time. I said that as investors in our businesses, we have 3 roles. We're investor, we're directors, and we're also employee. Who get paid the least? Employees. We should stop doing activities or operating at the employee level. We should be operating at the investor level and at the director level. So this is aimed to capacitate you as a director so that you can really see, am I up to this? Because guys, if you are not up to this, then you should fire yourself as a director and get a person who's gonna be a director and you only be a shareholder. Full stop. Huh? Hey, everyone is quiet now. Guys, does that make sense? Do you want to grow your business? Do you want to expand your network? Do you want to focus on building the growth in your business? You have to operate at a director level. For you to operate at a director level, you're going to start talking strategy. You're going to start talking business on how your growth, your business is actually going to grow. And that's not going to happen as an incident. It's going to happen because you're investing on yourself like you have been. So go back, read the material, analyze it, send through the questions. When I'm unable to answer the questions, guys, I will do the blog. In other instances, I will do even a mini videos for you guys so that I can explain that process. I will even share other people videos, maybe who are explaining things way better than I will explain them. What I'm gonna do now, I'm actually copying the link for you guys to then join the strategy session, the strategy WhatsApp group, so that where you can share your templates that you have completed. And guys, when you're all done with that one page, you can then present it. We have TUT, we have UJ. Those are one of the partners that will supply and help us to get you guys the advisory board, people that are gonna advise you on how you should be running your businesses. So that, guys, we can start building businesses that are meant to last, not a maspaza shop. Is that fair enough? Here is the group, the strategy WhatsApp group. Just join that group using that link. And I am gonna be rewarding those who are sharing, those who are asking questions, by spending more time with them, by analyzing your businesses in more detail, and also giving you hints of what are the things and how you could actually approach those plans and what's the quickest way to actually do it. Is that fair enough? I know you guys don't like me anymore now because I'm pushing the work back. That is good. That's a point of being a coach. I tell you the things you need to work on. We fight about it. You do it and you learn from it. Good or good?
So what is our homework? Our homework is to do what next week when we meet? What are you expecting?
Your
from us?
homework from next week, Mampol, you're gonna read the whole workbook that has been given to you. The workbook is not big. It's probably about, most of it is just spaces and stuff, about 30-something odd pages. I also need you to have completed every workbook up till workbook, I will tell you up to which workbook. Until worksheet number 7 and number 8. And that's the end of your workbook. And I need you to share the workbooks as you complete them. As you complete your workbook sheets, please share them on the WhatsApp group. Someone say, I don't have the workbook. Is this a closed session? Yes, Sheriff, this was a closed session. Bonolo, would you please add Sheriff on the group and send him the details? Yeah. Okay, so guys, if there are those who don't have the workbook, Bonolo will actually add them on. Great. Okay, guys. read the workbook, do the worksheets, and when you have a question you are struggling, send the question on that specific WhatsApp group. We will run a session going through the whole content again, explaining based on the questions you guys gonna. So that is why it's important. And don't mind, maybe you're doing this at 2 o'clock in the morning, don't mind. Just put the questions in. Just put the questions through so that I then capture them even if it's a later stage. Guys, the aim is for you to apply as you learn. Don't wait later and say, I'm gonna apply later. Guys, thank you so much for your time. We will circulate the evaluation to see if you guys have learned anything, but also if there's anything that we need to improve. We will also load this on the YouTube for you to listen to over and over again. We will also start adding other links even on the WhatsApp group so that you can actually listen to it. Maybe other trainers, other teachers explaining the same concept in a different way will also help you to enable you. Your aim is to get focused. The only way you can focus on your business is when you have a clear strategy and a plan on how you're gonna achieve your goals. There is no point of actually having a goal, but not having a plan on how you're gonna achieve it. The main purpose of a strategy is to help you to have a goal and then have a plan, and a clear plan that is progressive, that's gonna help you to what? To achieve your goals. Gail is saying, thank you, thank you. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I am glad. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
We will share the link. Guys, Denise, can you share the link of the evaluation so that people can actually complete it before they leave? But Jablile, I hope you are ready to roll. There is so much money to be made.
I'll see, I'm ready. The coaching, I'm not part of that one. How do I get into it?
Speak to Bonolo and Denise. Yes, speak to Bonolo and Denise. Bonolo, contact Jabulile. Yeah, we will need to work. They will need to enroll you, and Sharif and enroll you on what needs to be done.
Okay, another one.
Yes.
Another one.
Ma?
There is this work that we did last month or so, and it has paid this week. Now my question is, one did not get any salary last month. Now what do you do when it comes to sanctifying yourself? You know, I need to
the salaries that the directors have to pay themselves. Is that what you're asking? So I think I've answered this before, but maybe I will repeat it again. So the salary that the director paid themselves is based on what role and work they did during that period or during that project. In my business, I play different roles. There are days where I'm an employee, there are days when I'm an investor, there are days when I'm a director. When I'm a director, I am developing content, I am creating workbooks like these, and what I create is then an asset. Then that goes straight to the balance sheet. But as of today, like for example, I was running this workshop today. I'm an employee today. I'm not a director in my business. I'm an employee. I'm providing a service delivered. Then I should be charging based on my hourly rate, based on what that project has budgeted my time to be. Because every project should be budgeting for my time as an employee and my time as a director, because that is how I get paid. Then at the end of the year, if the business has done well, then I will then be paid based on dividends. So that is how you should approach how you pay yourself as a shareholder and also as a director.
But it looks like there are instances and times where you'll be paid, you will be paid, So now, is that okay? Because
No, you should keep the money in the business account.
Yes.
Keep the money in the business account, take it to a call account or investment account or 30-day. Just move it from your current account. Okay?
Oh,
Just move it from your current account. Let it be in somewhere else. Because if it's staring at you every day like that, you're gonna end up putting your hands in the wrong cookie jar. The business money, guys, is not your money. That is not your money. It's the money for the business. It's only your money when you are being paid a salary, and that salary must be consistent, or when you're paying as a dividend, or when you're paying for the work that you have delivered.
Oh, okay.
I know, that's not so funny anymore.
Because I didn't get any salary last month, so I was just looking at, it has to be a double salary.
It's about, can the business afford? Can the business actually sustain itself for the next 12 months? You shouldn't take it as though, because I didn't get paid last month. Did you work last month?
Yes, I did.
Then if you worked, the work that you did, reward yourself accordingly.
Okay.
Based on the project that you have delivered.
Okay.
So you can't milk out everything, because what's going to happen, another project will come which will need resources. You will not have those resources to fund that other project.
Okay, thanks for the advice.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, guys.